Forget easing into this list. We're starting at the top, with the kind of build that doesn't just bend the rules, it shreds them, sets them on fire, and dumps the ashes at the end of the drag strip. I'm talking about pure race-only setups. Think open exhaust dumps blasting raw fury into the air, catalytic converters ripped out and tossed, VIN plates missing, fuel cells replacing the gas tank. Every ounce of weight cut in the name of speed. These cars aren't built to cruise, they're built to launch like missiles, shaving seconds off quarter miles and leaving the competition in stunned silence. The performance difference? Night and day. Strip every restriction, feed the engine exactly what it needs, and you'll feel an acceleration so violent it's almost disorienting. On the track, this is pure magic. On the street, it's a one-way ticket to trouble. Zero safety compliance, no chance of passing inspection, and if you get pulled over, good luck explaining to the cop why your Civic has no muffler, no plates, and a fuel setup that looks like it came from a top fuel dragster. Don't even think about calling your insurance company if something goes wrong. They'll laugh you off the phone. But here's the thing. When you see a car like this at the track, you know you're looking at someone who went all in. They've sacrificed daily driving comfort. They've risked fines. They've turned their car into something most people can only imagine. It's an entirely different animal. And as extreme as this is, what comes next shows that you don't need to gut your car to make it break the rules and break the speed limit in ways you didn't think were possible. Because the next one is loud, dirty, and has the power to wreck your engine from the inside out. You've seen it. A big lifted truck rolls by, stacks pointed to the sky, and suddenly, a thick black cloud explodes out the back like a freight train. Some call it rolling coal, others call it a flex. But here's the truth. It's a stunt that kills engines, empties wallets, and can get you slapped with fines that'll make you wish you never touched a tuner. This forces your diesel to dump way more fuel than it can actually burn. That excess fuel hits the exhaust, turns into soot, and paints the air black. Sure, it looks wild for a second. Sure, your buddies might cheer. But under the hood, it's chaos. Turbochargers gummed up with soot so thick they couldn't spin freely, injectors cracked from heat and stress, exhaust systems caked in residue that slowly strangles performance. You're not making more power. You're just wasting fuel and accelerating engine death. The EPA doesn't just dislike coal rolling, it hunts it. We're talking thousands in fines, truck impounds, and in some states, outright bans that'll have you walking home. Even dealerships won't touch a coal-rolled engine for warranty work. They'll spot it instantly. A properly tuned diesel can make insane torque, tow like a beast, and pull hard without ever belching a single puff of black smoke. Real diesel power is clean, efficient, and terrifyingly strong when done right. Rolling coal? That's not power. That's just proving you care more about showing off than showing up at the finish line. This next one is the digital Wild West. Every modern car has an ECU, the brain that controls fuel, timing, boost, and all the little adjustments that keep your ride running smooth. But the second you start rewriting those maps without caring about emissions compliance, you've stepped over the line from enthusiast to outlaw. Plug in a handheld tuner, load up a Stage 2 file you found on a forum, and boom, throttle response sharpens, boost spikes harder, and the car feels like it just hit the gym. But a lot of these back alley tunes do more than add power. They strip away emission safeguards, shut off catalytic converter codes, bypass oxygen sensors, and kill EGR systems. That means your car is running dirtier, louder, and way more likely to fail a smog test the moment you roll in. A sloppy tune can wreck fuel trims, cause knock under load, and fry your pistons before you realize what's happening. Too aggressive tunes melt spark plugs in under a week, or send an engine into limp mode mid-drive because the map didn't account for real-world conditions. A proper Pro Tune can give you clean, reliable gains while keeping emissions in check, but most people chasing the cheap thrill skip that part and pay the price later. If you want your car to be faster and last, find a tuner who knows how to keep the balance. Now we're not just tricking the computer, we're tearing out the hardware that keeps your ride legal. Full-on emissions deletes, EGR valves gone, DPF filters in the trash, catalytic converters tossed for better flow. With those systems gone, exhaust gases move freer, intake air runs cooler, and back pressure drops. Torque jumps. The engine breathes easier, runs cooler under load, and feels like it's finally free. For an off-road or competition build, it's a performance jackpot. On public roads, it's 100% illegal. Federal law doesn't care how much power you gained. If your vehicle was built with emissions controls, they have to stay. Enforcement is brutal. Shops shut down for selling delete kits. Suppliers fined millions. Individual drivers hit with 5-figure penalties. Even if you dodge the law, you're not dodging the consequences. Without these systems, your exhaust runs dirtier, your carbon footprint spikes, and certain drivability issues can creep in if the tune isn't flawless. Do it for the track, and you've got a monster. Do it for the street, and you've got a time bomb with a court date. Forced induction is the heavyweight punch in the world of performance mods. Nothing changes a car's personality faster than strapping on a turbo or supercharger. Whether it's a turbo that spools up like a hurricane or a supercharger that hits with instant torque, this upgrade can turn a mild daily driver into a tire-shredding monster overnight. More air equals more fuel, which equals bigger controlled explosions inside your engine. That means bigger horsepower numbers, a fatter torque curve, and acceleration that feels like getting yanked forward by a giant slingshot. I've seen stock engines gain anywhere from 100 to 300 extra horsepower with the right setup. But these kits aren't bolted on and forget it. You need bigger injectors, a stronger fuel pump, a high-flow intercooler, and most importantly, a proper ECU tune to make sure your engine isn't choking, knocking, or running lean under boost. Skip any of these, and that sweet new turbo could end up grenading your motor. And since most aftermarket forced induction kits are labeled for off-road or race use only, driving one on the street without proper emissions compliance can land you in hot water fast. Removing the choke point in your exhaust system, the catalytic converter, can make your engine breathe easier. Replace it with a straight test pipe, and suddenly exhaust flow is freer, turbo spool is quicker, throttle response sharpens, and you can see gains of 10 to 20 horsepower instantly. On a turbo car, that difference can feel huge. On a dedicated race car or off-road build, it's a game changer. But on public roads, forget it. Federal law makes it clear. If your car came with a catalytic converter, it has to stay. Dropping your ride can be one of the most satisfying upgrades you'll ever make. Done right. Lowering the suspension drops your center of gravity, flattens your cornering, and gives your car that aggressive, glued-to-the-road look. At high speeds or on a track, a well-engineered suspension setup can shave seconds off lap times and make your steering feel razor-sharp. But cheap coilovers, chopped springs, or cut-and-weld jobs done in a driveway ruin the geometry, cause bottoming out, uneven tire wear, and sometimes complete suspension failure. A cold air intake can sharpen throttle response, add power, and make your engine sound alive. But slap on a cheap, no-name kit without proper shielding, and you're just sucking in hot air from the engine bay, killing performance instead of boosting it. In states like California, if your intake isn't CARB certified, it's flat out illegal. No sticker, instant emissions failure. The wrong setup can throw off MAF readings, mess with your air-fuel ratio, and cause bogging or stalling. If raw, instant power is the goal, nothing delivers like nitrous. Hit the switch, dump extra oxygen into the combustion chamber, burn more fuel, and unleash horsepower gains that feel like you strapped a rocket to your ride. But in many states, just having a nitrous system hooked up on a streetcar is illegal, bottle full or not. Bad installs, leaky solenoids, poor fuel delivery, or an untuned ECU can blow gaskets, crack pistons, or melt spark plugs in seconds. Some people try to cheat inspections by defeating OBD2 readiness monitors, tricking the ECU into thinking emission systems are healthy when they're not. Sounds clever until you realize it's illegal in all 50 states and easy to detect. Get caught and you could lose your registration until you replace and certify every missing component. Leaded race fuel is pure fire, literally. High octane, knock resistant, and beloved by racers for the way it wakes up high compression or high boost engines. But on public roads, it's a one-way trip to killing your emission system and failing inspections. That lead coats spark plugs, clogs oxygen sensors, and destroys catalytic converters. Nothing announces your arrival like a muffler delete or straight pipe exhaust. The sound is raw and aggressive, and in some setups, performance really does improve thanks to reduced back pressure. But most states have strict noise laws, and too loud means tickets, no matter how clean your emissions are. Then there's the James Bond tech, laser and radar jammers. They scramble police speed detection, buying you precious seconds to slow down. They work, but they're illegal almost everywhere, with radar jammers banned federally. Get caught, and you're looking at thousands in fines, federal charges, and possibly losing your ride. Some mods don't just fail to improve performance, they actively make it worse. Colored headlights and non-DOT approved HID kits scatter light everywhere, blind oncoming drivers, and reduce your own visibility. Cheap performance chips promising huge gains for $29 are usually resistors in a box, sending false signals to your ECU and damaging your engine. Oversized wheels might look mean, but they mess with gear ratios, hurt acceleration, and make your ride harsh while stressing suspension and brakes. That's the line between looking fast and being fast. The right mods, done right, can transform your car into something extraordinary. Done wrong or done illegally, they can turn your pride and joy into a ticket magnet, a money pit, or a heap on a tow truck.